This is Arif Halaby on your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS.
Hey, welcome to the show, Total Financial Solutions, Safer Money Hour. I'm Arif Halaby along with Jeff Girard. We're talking about your family's finances, getting out of debt, managing money, planning for your future. What is it really all about? Well, I need you to think of two things that I think are going to impact your life when we get closer to the retirement age. And look, retirement age is different today. So I know when you hear retirement, you might be thinking, oh, old and gray and sitting in a chair, rocking chair on the porch.
Right.
Listening to the crickets. It's different today.
Well, it has to be because I don't hear any crickets in California anymore.
You do. Global warming. They're now
That's
pushed
what it
off
is.
to,
Yep.
I think everything's global warming. Can't we?
They went north, I think.
If it rains too much, they blame global. If it doesn't rain enough, it's global warming. And then everybody was saying, it's the coldest in temperature, so they had to change it to climate change. So now they're convincing everybody it's climate change. It's too late, folks. Kids have already graduated high school. They believe global warming. Now they have to change to climate change. It's like every time you turn around. I get it. I believe the climate change. It just always has changed. I don't know if man is responsible for it. But the shifting of dollars over the last 10 years or so have really made, I think, a difference in how you are going to be expecting to live in your retirement. You might say, what? How can global warming and climate change and the issues of governmental policy, how is that going to impact what you are doing or going to be doing for retirement? One word: taxes. When the system comes through to create an enormous amount of money being moved from one bucket to the other, people in the middle will take their cut. Often it's government workers, often it's special interest groups, often it's Solyndra, and the countless other debacle of dollars. Like, you know, when Solyndra happened, we covered it here on the show. Some of you don't even remember what it is. It was a solar company that took a $500 million hit. No, this is what that means. That's $500 million. It was a company who the investors were on the line, and so were individual stockholders and employees. What the federal government did is it changed the rules, and it took $500 million under the Obama administration and moved that to pay everybody first. So the person who got stuck, or the company or individual that got stuck holding the bag for that loss of $500 million was the federal government. All the shareholders, all the folks that mismanaged that company, tough luck, thank you, thanks for my money, move on. So that means the federal government doesn't have its own money. It gets it from the Federal Reserve. It gets it from you as a taxpayer. Right? There is no such thing of, this is going to cost the federal government. That doesn't exist. They're not making money. They're taking from you that are making money. So cherish those dollars. Expect more for those dollars. You know, the country of Puerto Rico was a corrupt mess before. Electricity didn't work all across the island regularly, ever, and as long as I know. The politicians are always being jailed. They're always going to prison. The electric utility company is always under investigation, the directors, the manager. This is a normal thing. And then when the hurricane comes through, well, I mean, it's horrible. There are people that are starving, no question. But you have to understand the system was already completely corrupt. Taxpayer money. We need money. I think Puerto Rico was already upside down billions. I want to say 9 billion, but that's just off the top of my head. Billions of dollars that they are never going to pay back. It disappeared. It went somewhere. Who knows where? People took it. It went, who knows? Taxpayer money. We need it. So you have billions of dollars wasted in a hole where there is zero accountability, where you've had a one-party system in that country, in that territory, for years. It's been one party all the way down, Democrat Party. And even when a Republican could get elected in a smaller community, they were usually left of center Republicans, just not as far left as the others. Look, I'm not saying it's Democrat and Republicans. There's corrupt son of a guns on both sides. There's evil people on every color. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is when you don't have ideas that check each other, right? When your idea, let me fine tune that against your idea. Oh, wait a second. My idea and your idea, I'm going to change my opinion a little bit. You've made some great arguments. You've produced good evidence. Right? When that happens, then the ideas are refined and decisions are made and changes are questioned and adjusted. But when they aren't, taxpayer money. Taxpayer, that's you. Who do you think the taxpayer is? Who do you think the government is? I think the government should pay for education. Great. You go tell all the professors and the landscaping folks that they're not working for money anymore. They're working for free. Oh, well, somebody's got to pay them. Yeah, taxpayer. So consider when you are going to retire that your pension is going to have pressure, which means it's going to have problems trying to do what it's supposed to do. They just lowered it again from 7.2, I want to say it's down into the high sixes, low sevens. What I mean by that is this. They say we have, let's just say $1 million. I know it's a lot more zeros than that, but play along for a minute. We have $1 million in this account. In order to do what we need to do this year, there's going to be 10 people putting in, there's going to be 2 people taking out, and we're going to be earning some interest inside of that. When we do the calculations, we know about how many people are putting in, how many is taking out. As long as we earn at least 7.5% interest, we'll be ahead of the game. The problem is, even in record territory with the stock market, the pension system still has yet to be able to make similar rates of return for all sorts of reasons. Some of it is corrupt management, certainly. Some of it is they have requirements to keep some money liquid so it can't be at risk making higher rates of return. Some of it is they took really big chances and they lost it. So it's a mix of everything. The problem is now you're ready to retire. And you say, wonderful, I expect after 32 years of working for the district, for the state, for the county, for the city, I'm going to get a pension of this much for the rest of my life. Wonderful. If you want to see a change happen, start pushing buttons on the pensions. It's nice. Yes. Yes, we should do it. That's why I feel better when we do it. When we put the pensions in, we give people, I get it. But whether I feel nice about it and fuzzy and warm, or you do, 1 + 1 is still 2. Whether you feel like it's 4, or you're passionate that it's 9, or Arif, 10 years ago I signed a contract, and 1 + 1 was 8 in that contract. 1 + 1 is still 2. I don't care what your union says, what your employer says, what your management company says, what your contract of... If there isn't money, folks, you have to take it from somebody else. That's what taxes are. Saying, you don't need it, I do. I need it more than you. Give it to me, or you go to jail, right? Or we take your property. It's taxes. So the pensions are going to be having an issue. And Jeff, let's go over this a little bit, because Total Financial Solutions Safer Money Hour. I'm Arif Halaby. That's Jeff Girard. We're talking about, are you expecting a pension? Here are some challenges that you might want to keep an eye opening. Because I don't think they're going to go away. There's a lot of money there. I don't think they're just going to poof disappear. I think what will happen instead is you're going to see some pushback. And what you thought was this gradual growth or this minimum amount you were going to earn, I think there's going to be some challenges there. And I don't want you to be caught short, where you're somebody who retires, looks around, and says, what do you mean they're cutting my pension? It's the only source of retirement income I have. I think you need more than just one source.
Well, and I wouldn't be surprised, and thanks for asking me to weigh in on this, I would call this anymore the age of reform. What are we seeing? We're seeing reforms in healthcare. We're seeing reforms in insurance. We're seeing reforms in retirement. I can understand if we were in an area where it was unprecedented, unthinkable that a pension system would change, because look, this is the way it's always been for generations and generations and generations. But what are we seeing? We're seeing defaults, and not just 1 or 2, and not just small municipalities. We're not seeing small organizations. We're seeing defaults, even with these supposed, and what Arif mentioned, these contracts in place. You know, when we think of a bank, we think of safety, right? We think if we put our money there, we can always go. They take my dollar or $100, $1,000, and they park it in a vault and they put a lock and key, right? And it's always there. If I go there, there's a Federal Reserve note with my, a Federal Reserve note. Oh, it's not yours. Oh, interesting. Okay, but what do? We have a bank that has our dollars, and they say, you know what, it's so safe, but we're still going to buy insurance on this, just in case. Well, in case of what? A pension does the same thing in a lot of cases. They go out to something similar to the FDIC, if you will, which is Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation for banks, but the PBGC, the Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation, is an insurance company essentially, and they have to insure these pensions. Why? Arif, you did a great job of outlining that. There are so many pressures on pension systems, and what are the dollars? They are a finite amount of money that go into a bucket, and there's a little piece of the pie that's carved out with your name on it, and they expect, this is, and I don't know if we really get our minds wrapped around this, there is speculation on what the future value of the dollars will be. And then they have to course correct. Okay, we didn't earn that 7.5% that we thought we would. We actually earned 6. We have to put in a little bit more. Or, hey, we earned a little bit more than that. We earned more than we speculated. We don't have to put in as much. But we're seeing time and again that more and more keeps happening. And then if you take the backside of this, more people, how many people, Arif, are retiring every day, would you say, just as an average?
Well, we know that 10,000 or so people a day turn age 65.
There you go.
And when you have 10,000 people turning 65, you also have, because it's a wave, right, it's averages, about 10,000 people per day turning 59 and a half. When you turn 59 and a half, you can start taking your money out of your retirement account without a penalty, an additional tax, if you will.
Right.
But what happens at 70 and a half?
You have to start taking money out of your tax-deferred accounts.
That's right. Oh, I don't need it. I'm good with it. I don't need it.
That's okay. We're going to penalize you if you don't take it out. Oh, and by the way, you still have to take the money out.
Here's what's going to happen, folks. 2016, that's last year. We began this wave of people called baby boomers turning 70 and a half. And as they are turning 70 and a half from 1946, 1964, during that window of time, it's called the baby boomers if you were born, you are now being forced to withdraw money from your retirement accounts. Which means, all right, this is not fun, but which means, whether you like it or not, the pressure on the withdrawing money means it comes from the stock market. Which percentage of them are going to put money back in and just buy stocks again? I don't know. But as the wave of them starts to pull money out, not because they need it, but because they have to, the ones that need it can start taking it out earlier. Remember, you can pull money from these retirement accounts at age 59 and a half without any extra 10% penalty. But you have to by 70 and a half. That 11-year window, you're going to start seeing, I think, dollars coming out of the market. Now, where will they go? I don't know. Some of it might go right back in. But I don't know. I don't think so. I think you're going to see people distrusting the market. I think you're going to see some people thinking twice about, putting good money after good and saying, I'm going to take my profit. I'm good. I'm going to run. I'm going to go buy this. Hey, I'm going to finally pay for that. I'm going to finally buy that RV or take that trip. I think they're going to be spending it as opposed to saving it. And as that wave really begins to hit in the next 10, 11 years, I think you will see the pressure against the market be pretty significant.
Well, and the other part of this is, and we can only go off of our experience, and I refer back to a phone call that we had just in the last couple days. And this is really the sentiment of the phone calls we get of folks that are age 70 and a half or greater. They say, Arif or Jeff, I have to take this money out. What can I do with it? And before you make any recommendations, it's got to be safe. I have to be able to get to it in case of an emergency. It has to be there. I don't want it at risk. So you can see right there that sentiment, that's not dollars going back into the same system that was in there for, in some cases, 20 or 30 years. They've taken all the risks that they wanted to or had to with those dollars, and now They're away from that environment. And where do they put them? They keep them very close to themselves, whether it's a bank or maybe they just go out and spend it and enjoy life with it, or it becomes part of their income. But to your point, Arif, you're not seeing that go back in. And that's an additional pressure, similar to what we were talking about earlier about the pension system, where there's more money going in or coming out. That really kind of determines the balance of the load on these accounts or these systems. So these are concepts, right? We fund these concepts with money, and we hope to get the money back at some point in the future. So my recommendation or my thought here is really challenge what it is that you're looking for in the end, and don't just go with the status quo, right? Because it's very easy to get into the ocean and, you think you have control, but when you get into a big enough mass of water with enough force behind it, you're going to kind of go with the current. And that's what people get used to doing, both in life and socially and financially speaking. That's been our experience. But the ones that do really well, they challenge that. They take care of themselves. They have multiple sources of income, and they don't just rely on one, whether it's an employer, a government, or a corporate entity, to pay them for not working for the rest of their life.
And these pensions were set up for you to not live as long as you're living.
That's right.
Social Security was set up the same way. It was set up for you to start it at 65, and then, by the time you're 68, 69, 70, and thank you for being around, but we're pretty much done. So you have a system that said, oh my goodness, these people are still living. They could be a great Hollywood movie. The Acme pension system, we need to take out the next 4 people because we have 4 people retiring. Take out the 4.
Or, oh my gosh, they're still alive.
The oldest 4. Wouldn't that be bad? It's like we are
awful.
A jury. We now make a... But what a horrible setup. But you can see that folks are living longer, and they're living better. It isn't just that you're lingering and hanging on. Certainly there are some, and we feel bad for them. But often you're going to see people in their late 60s, 70s even, traveling, active, climbing, hiking. Doing things physical. Maybe not as much as they used to, of course. But it's not just an existence of a life anymore. It's now a life that is built around experiences. And that is very important, because as we have choices to where we can put our money, experiences tend to be for that retirement baby boomer, pre-baby boomer class. It seems to be the primary place that they want to put their money. That is in experiences. So how do you create and build a chance so that your experiences are part of it? I think you have to know, I like multiple sources of income. When we come back, I'm going to give you a story. I always like to do that now on our shows. Give you a story, give you an update of somebody that has come in since our last time that we met here on the show. Talk about what they went through, a little bit about their account, maybe some of the challenges that they found, and some of the solutions that we came up with as well. Remember, from a pension standpoint, fine, let it be there. But if it's your only source or primarily your overwhelmingly main source of retirement income, then you need a plan B. Just because I don't think it's going to keep up with inflation. I don't think it's going to be something where the cost of living increases that you're expecting are going to be there. It will be if you take it at 65, 70. But if you're going to live at 87, 88, 90, and you're okay, right? You're not spending money every day parachuting outside of perfectly good airplanes. But you might still need it for medical, of course, but wouldn't it be nice that it keeps up with inflation? All right, we'll be back in just a minute. That's Jeff Girard. I'm Arif Halaby. Look, Total Financial Solutions, that's our show right here. It's the Total Financial Hour. You can get a hold of us at 800-990-7344. That's 800-990-7344. Give us a call if you have a question. You want to come to some of our workshops, dinners. We do things where we little different educational seminars. It's kind of fun. It's nice to learn a little bit as well. Have a good meal. Sometimes we have good dinners that we put on as well. Well, they're always, if it's a dinner, it's a good dinner. But
I was going to say that. I think they're always good meals. So.
Sometimes we have things that we do that don't have dinners. That's the
right.
point. We'll be back in just a minute. I'm Arif Halaby. That's Jeff Girard.
On October 31st, the Church on the Way Santa Clarita is hosting an all-new block party. Come hang out with them anytime between 5 and 8 p.m. for yummy food trucks, giant inflatable games, a hay maze and rock wall, a toddler play area, and loads of candy. This is a free, family-friendly event, so don't leave anyone at home. For more information about the Church on the Way Santa Clarita, including service times and what's happening over the next few months, visit tcotwsc.org.
Discover Verano at Aliento, a 55-plus community with exclusive resort-style amenities designed just for you. Join us as we celebrate the grand opening of the new club at Verano on Saturday, October 21st from 1 to 5. Come party at the new clubhouse and see our model homes. We'll have music by the pool, refreshments, and more. From the 14 exit Golden Valley Road, Aliento is located off Golden Valley Road in Oak Crest. See you there.
There's only one Santa Clarita plastic surgeon who is Yale trained and board certified, Dr. Justin Heller.
To be a board certified plastic surgeon like myself, what that truly entails is about 5 to 7 years of honed surgical training in reconstructive, all areas, as well as aesthetics, which means your facelifts, your breast augmentations, your body contouring, true training, and board certification. In fact, that's the only board certified area that can be achieved in this realm.
Dr. Justin Heller, warm, understanding, always available for guidance because he's local. HellerPlasticSurgery.com.
You might not know the difference between a fade, a pompadour, a cropped fringe, or a faux mohawk, but the Sport Clip Guy Smart Stylists sure do. We know you don't think about haircuts 24/7. That's Sport Clip's job. That's why Sport Clips specializes in haircuts for men and boys. Sport Clips has turned something you have to do into something you want to do. You don't ever need to make an appointment at Sport Clips, and you'll walk out feeling like an MVP guaranteed. Sport Clips at the Santa Clarita location nearest you.
Pumpkins are back in Santa Clarita, just a short ride up Bouquet Canyon. Introducing the Gilchrist Farm Harvest Festival and Pumpkin Patch, with pumpkins, and more pumpkins. Open from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. daily in October, the festival is full of pony rides, farm animals, live entertainment, farm crafts, and pig races. Book your professional photo session in the Pumpkin Patch. Learn how to milk a goat, gather eggs, and best of all, pick your perfect Halloween pumpkin. Nostalgia's returned to Santa Clarita. It's now at Gilchrist Farm, gilchristfarm.com.
The most family-friendly, free Halloween celebration is at Real Life Church, Saturday, October 28th from 3 to 8 p.m. Have your kids enjoy Halloween in a safe, friendly setting, including an indoor magic show, petting zoo, trunk-or-treat area, and a ton of free candy. Be sure to come hungry and enjoy food vendors, bounce in the bounce houses, play games at the park, and get pumpkins at the Pumpkin Patch. Halloween at Real Life Church, Saturday, October 28th from 3 to 8 p.m. Full details at reallifechurch.org.
Hometown, your hometown station.
This is your place for news, talk, and information, your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Welcome back. Arif Halaby here, Total Financial Solutions Safer Money Hour. Look, I guess in today's world of social media bullies, you're always going to see and hear people that are unhappy with what you think, what you say. If we disagree with you, you must be evil, you must be wrong. Sometimes people are wrong. Sometimes people are evil, right? And sometimes people just have a different opinion. If I like chocolate ice cream and you think strawberry is better, well, maybe you're wrong.
I'm offended that you don't like the same ice cream that I like.
When your life is geared off of this whole I'm offended world, gosh, is anybody telling you the truth? Your kids at school are not learning it when it comes to some of this social baloney, right? I'm offended that you're wearing a Trump hat or shirt. Nobody said that when they disagreed with President Obama. I'm offended you're wearing a President Obama that is racist, that is bigoted, that is... We just said, okay, fine, if that's what you believe or that's what you want to wear, who cares? But man, oh man, is there pressure. The reason I bring that up is for you to get in your head that your feelings, you're being offended or not, don't affect math. Math and logic is what your pension is all about. I get the fact that you want to vote for this and you're mad about that and you stand before here. Those are all wonderful things. But do not think that it has anything to do with the viability or lack thereof of a pension plan, or that the underlying investments or the pension managers are good people or not good people. You have to judge all of that on its own merits. this might sound strange to some, but I don't want to be friends with the President of the United States. I don't dislike him. I don't want to be friends with him. I want him to do well. I support, 51% of what he's doing or more, right? That's why you vote. You decide 50%, 51%. Who's 49, who's 51, that's who I'm voting for. I don't agree with my wife 100% of the time. Why would I ever agree with the president or a congressman or a congresswoman or a state senator? Why would you measure your life based on that?
Well, think of, if you have a loved one and you hire a specialist, they're sick, right? And they need surgery or some type of treatment. That doctor that's going to administer that treatment is your best friend for the
That's right.
for the length of that treatment or surgery.
Save my family. That's all I care about.
I didn't know them from Adam beforehand, and I probably will never call them afterward, after shaking their hand and thanking them for a successful treatment. But you are rooting for them while they are in control. And they may have different political beliefs, religious beliefs. They may be agnostic to most things, but what are they really good at? They are good at performing a surgery. We need to back our president. I don't care if it's Trump, Obama, George Bush. It doesn't matter who it was or who it ever will be. We need to support the person in power in some regard. I mean,
you can disagree with policies.
Totally.
I like this one. I don't like this one. But when the man opens his mouth, everybody immediately goes down this road. Look, you have an epic financial problem if you live in California.
Yes.
In other words, it is so severe, folks, you have no clue. They find, and that's what I'm calling it, you can call it whatever you want. If you were an employer in 2015 and you had employees here in California, California couldn't pay its bills. It had to borrow money from the federal government. When it didn't pay its bills in January, they came to everybody who employed people. So if you employed 2 people or 10 or 1,000 or 10,000, like Toyota and Pepsi and Frito-Lay and all those companies that are now gone,
Yep.
Nestle, when they came to those people and they said, okay, in 2016, February or so, you have to pay $150 per person. It's about that. So I had 6 or 7 or 8 employees. We had to pay $150 per person. If you had 11,000 employees, like some other companies, and Providence Holy Cross Hospital has thousands of employees, tough luck. You have to pay it. Toyota says, we're out of here. We're not going to stick around. So they leave. The next year, Nestle says, well, we'll give California another shot. They still didn't pay it. They borrowed more money, and now it's $175 per employee. Oh, those people in Washington, in Sacramento, they know what they're doing. So what did they do to your pension? Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to give more people more pension, more dollars. And then what they did, of course, they fined me and others $175 per employee. If you have a job, your employer had to pay $175 per person. Now, look, if it's one person, you're like, oh, that doesn't matter. But if you employ 1,000 people or 500 or 2,000, do the math, you guys. It can be millions of dollars. And where did the dollars go? Poof, gone. So you have to watch these dollars when they go bye-bye because they're not coming back. It's not like you bought something. Well, at least we have a bridge or at least we have some roads. No, folks, it's gone. It's interest. Do you think California will get its act together this year? Probably not. I would expect it to be over $200 per employee this year. Does that encourage employers to hire people? No. Oh, and by the way, the pensions are so out of control that everybody's fighting to keep it so that you and I will pay more taxes in the state of California just in order to keep it. Everything they want to tax is walking down the street. How do you expect your pension? Here's an interesting scenario. We had a client came in recently, and he had $1.2 million. Lots of money, folks. Mm-hmm. $1.2 million. Happens to be a case I was an expert witness on. $1.2 million. Came in, sat in my office, and he said, oh, this was guaranteed to never go backwards. I said, well, right here it says that you've lost $300,000. He says, oh, no, that's not accurate. So we called the company. I'm not going to, we don't know the details, so let's call the company. Let's get straight from their mouth. When we do that, we pulled the data, filled out a little worksheet. If you have one of these accounts that you're not sure why it doesn't seem to be going up or what kind of fees you're paying, come on in, bring it into the office. We'll go through it. We'll review it. We made a phone call. Took less than 10 minutes. We found out what his fees were, $57,000 a year. $57,000 a year, you guys.
Gosh.
Is that not a lot of money? To me, it is. And so, whatever percentage the broker took, 90%, 70%, I don't care. It doesn't matter. The company made it. Wall Street took it. And his account went down in value. When we looked at it, the agent wasn't even licensed in the state of California when he did this transaction. Ooh. He took a check from the client, and about 6 weeks later was registered and licensed in the state in order to transact this kind of business. Wow. Yeah, took just a little bit of research. We found out why this was probably inappropriate for him. Wrote a letter, went off to arbitration. The attorneys did it. Surprise, he won 100% of his case, all of his money back. Cashed out his account, got all of his money back. We don't know what happened to the broker. That's up to the state. So here is somebody who says, I'm going to have to save for my own retirement, because he didn't have a pension. He was like, just me. And not only do you have to worry about the state of California one-party system, a bunch of folks that are just designing to do one thing in the state, which is find another way to find something else to tax. Instead, he said, I'm going to have to take care of myself. And in doing so, he got taken on the other side, which is by the large companies. So if you are in that position, you have to plan for yourself. There are some good and not so good places to be.
You know, what fascinates me about that situation, not that somebody didn't explain the product properly or the financial program properly, or that somebody lost money and paid a fee to do it. What really fascinates me is that despite the clear black and white, the black ink on the white paper on that statement where it shows, and you caught it inside of probably 10 seconds reviewing that first page, that he had a loss, a lot of zeros behind that, but $300,000, it doesn't matter what it is. He had a loss, and he refuted it and said, no, that's not what they told me. I don't believe it.
Yeah, even though
that's
it was in writing.
From the horse's mouth, in writing, showing a loss, and someone believed and trusted whatever was given to them information-wise when they signed up for that program. So I bring that up because trust is such an essential part of how we move through life, right? We trust that our insurance companies are going to pay the claims because we've been paying premiums every month. We trust that if we put money into a system that we're going to get something back, or that if we work for an employer for 30 years that they're going to pay us that pension. I challenge you to challenge those folks, because sometimes it's not what you think it is just because someone said it.
I think you're going to see a two-party system, and I don't mean Republicans and Democrats. I think you're going to see a two-tier, two-party system in the pension systems going forward. I think you're going to see it in law enforcement. I think you're going to see it in firefighters, in county workers, state workers, educators. I think when you have a state or a city educator, I don't care the district. There's probably every district that this applies to, where you're going to see the educator, the teacher who's retiring at 63 years old. She's been with the district 34 years, qualifies, eligible, retires. 63 years old. She's a young 63, active. Kids are grown. One lives in Seattle, one lives in Denver. She visits grandchildren. Wonderful life. 63 years old. She was a mentor and took care of and helped educate and guide and direct other young educators along the way. It was a wonderful experience. And now, one of the folks that she worked with years ago is a 32-year-old single mother of 3 children. Husband is one of those guys who thinks the state's going to take care of his kids, and off he goes. And now she's raising 3 children on her own on an educator's salary. Tough to do. Mm-hmm. And you're going to tell that woman that she's going to have to now pay more money out of her retirement account, out of her paycheck, more money out of her paycheck each and every month. And when she's ready to retire, she's going to have less money, or she's going to have to wait longer, or both, just so that 63-year-old teacher can scuba dive the Great Barrier Reef, or climb Machu Picchu, or finally take that around the world cruise. You're going to wait a second. So I'm working 3 jobs. I'm working summer school so that they can take more money from my pension. So when I look at a Facebook post of a teacher who just retired, or a police officer who just retired with 25 years on the job with an amazing pension, and now I have to work till age 60, you're telling me that I have to put more money in my pension so that he or she can... Do you see where I'm going with that? I think there's going to be a problem. I think you're going to see a little bit of friction. Now, if the powers that be can get in there and remind you, oh, it's part of the kumbaya. We're just part of a group spirit.
We're going to do it for you.
We're doing it for you. We're going to give you something else. We'll give you an extra day off. You want another vacation day? You got it. I think that's what they're going to have to convince people. So now there's more pressure on the other teachers to work an extra because they're going to give days off. It's silly. I think until people sit down and have an honest conversation, listen, we are sorry. We built this pension system with wonderful intentions. We built this concept and this idea of creating the ability for you to work and live and retire and be rewarded for the amazing work you've done to serve the community, to serve the neighbors, to serve children. But we are sorry. We messed up, says Gray Davis. We messed up, says Pete Wilson. We messed up, says Mr. De Leon, who's not his real name, just like Villaraigosa is not his real name, right? All these people.
It's like stage names? Is that?
It's like, oh, I'm sorry because I want to get politically elected, so I have to sound either more Hispanic or I have to sound, or one of, what, Villaraigosa, didn't he get in trouble? Was it bankruptcy? Fraud? Something like that. So he just changed his last name to his wife's last name. Really? Antonio Villaraigosa did that? Arif, that's not true. The internet says it. Must be true. Yeah, Antonio Villaraigosa. It's not his real last name.
Wow.
So sunny, huh? But the other one had some tainted stuff to it, so he wants to be your governor, folks. Maybe senator, maybe governor. Good friends with Hillary Clinton, that's what he said. He's going to fix everything. Messed up the city pension beyond belief when he was mayor of the city of Los Angeles. Look, it's all about numbers. That's what it's about. You want pensions to survive, you have to either put more money in or pay less money out or earn more interest while it's there. Those are the only 3 choices. You cannot promise things, pay off your buddies, and then leave your political office with your pension and be stuck, right? Listen, College of the Canyons has one of the richest pension plans for the top 10 people that work there than any place else in the state, let alone the nation. You can't continue to be obligated to pay somebody $25,000 a month when they retire. Not when they're working. They're sitting at home. They're in Fiji. They're in, wherever, Europe. $25,000, $5,000 a week.
Wow. To not work?
To not work. Let's make it simple. $1,000 a day. Ooh. $1,000 a day. That's not bad. Can you spend that fast enough? I guess you can if you're flying around in private jets and limousines, probably. Where does it come from? Look, if you make a widget for $1 and you sell it for $2, I'm okay with that, man. You had a product, people love it, they bought it, good. You're a private company, you've wooed your customers, great. But when your customer is paying $50 a unit or whatever they're paying at community colleges, and they have to get student loans and be on the hook for the rest of their life, when your customer is a state taxpayer who are leaving by droves so that you can continue to get your massive paycheck, I think you have to think twice about this. You're pulling money. It's like the ship is sinking. People go, I want this lamp. Give me the I don't know, the drapes. They match my house. Wait, this ship is sinking. I know. No, the silverware. Just get me the silverware. Then I'm going to jump off the boat and retire in Arizona, Nevada, somewhere else, because then they don't pay taxes in California.
More tax favorable.
Golly, people.
And look, if you built up a bucket of dollars with your money and you took some risk, and let's say you come out on the other side and you've built up an amount of money that will support that $1,000 a day retirement lifestyle,
yeah, if it's your money,
that's your money. But to have it continually fed by others, Wait, we don't call it a Ponzi scheme, right? We don't call it that. It's not the name for it. It's something else.
Here's what I want you to do with your pension plan. Number one, whatever they're promising you, build a budget off of 75% of that. Maybe that's too conservative. Great, you have more money. Lucky you.
Well, Arif, talk about why. Because you have experience not only as someone that has testified in cases where people have been wronged by financial institutions, you've also sat on the pension committee for a fairly large government entity, and you have seen time and again clients or stories of folks that you've run into, whether it was on an airplane flight or they've become clients through some type of referral, where they've lost double-digit percentages, if not most, of their promised contracted pension.
Listen, I was on a flight with United Airlines. The pilot came out because we were on the ground. He came out and talked, and I said, we had a client who's a United Airlines pilot. His pension went from $10,000 down to $4,000 a month. He was a pilot back then. They had to retire at age 60. Today it's 65. And he said, you think that's something? I have to work till age 65. He said this. And my pension went from $11,700 to $1,000 a month. I was supposed to retire, his words, at age 59. Instead, I now have to work to 65 just so that I could save my own money. And if they would have told me at the beginning it was just going to be me that I had to save, great, I would have just saved my own money, not counted on it. It would have just been what it was, and when I got there, I got there. But instead, you're counting on something that may or may not be there in the form in which you think. And it's funny when people say things like, oh, Arif, our pension plan is better than others. I go, why? Well, because we're funded at 89%. I go, dang, 89 is a big number. So it's like almost an A. It's a B plus, right? 89 is not bad. I said, so what does that mean? And they said, well, that means we have 89% of what our current and projected expenses are going to be are in the fund now. I go, that means you're going to take an 11% pay cut in your pension? Well, no. I said, well, where do you think the money will come from?
No, because everybody's grabbing the silverware before the ship sinks, right?
Your pension should be 104, 115, 127%. Anything less than 100 is a fail. F means doesn't exist. And then what they're doing is they're trying to move these calculations, right? The purpose of the Obamacare plan when it came to unions, why unions were against it and then got on board, is because they cut a deal with the president's plan to say we're going to give up some money and we're going to transfer all of these legacy pensions that we had that had health care as part of it. So certain teachers unions, police unions, right? All across the country, cities, Boston, Detroit, where they were paying for health care either in the past or still would be if you retired. And they went and they said, okay, President Obama, you're creating a plan where we can give up some of the money that we have, so we're going to lose some of the cash, but we no longer are responsible for their health insurance because they're on the state system or the government system. And unions did the math and they said, you know what, we can do that. We're not responsible for it anymore. It leaves our pocket, goes to yours. Tough luck. You're now, if you have a problem with it, go see your state exchange people. That was the challenge. That was the change of why the, quote, Cadillac plans. Remember, United Auto Workers has a pretty good plan. SAG has a pretty darn good health care plan. Motion picture, right? It's really awesome. The plan was to get all of their support so that they would communicate to their members. So at the end, the dollars would go back into the exchanges. It was just a backdoor plan for unions. That's all it was. Whether or not it was the right plan or not, the process of it was to lessen the pension obligation so there was more money left for you. Here's the challenge. I think you can only plan for 75% of that. If you have more, great. But that's a good number. Oh, Arif, I'm going to get $4,000 a month. Great. Why don't you just budget for $3,000? If you get $4,000, great. Buy an RV or something. But if you get less, you've planned for it. You're going to live accordingly. You're going to save in your retirement buckets. You're going to put some non-tax return items, right? We've talked about this. Roth IRAs, Roth 401ks, do not come on your tax return. Properly structured life insurance policies, the cash that you can get, the cash value, does not go on your tax returns. So those are options that can give you tax-free money or tax-friendly money when you retire. And it doesn't affect your pension being taxed at a higher number, your Social Security being taxed at a higher number. So consider that. Roth plans like Roth IRA, Roth 401k, etc., ROTH, and properly structured life insurance policies. There's some options there. We'll be back in just a minute as we can wrap up this hour of the program. Are you expecting a pension? How do you plan for that? Well, I'm Arif Halaby. We'll be right back on your place for News Talk and Information. This is your hometown station, KHTS.
What's the perfect way to end the weekend? Sunday brunch at Salt Creek Grill, of course. Wind down with delectable dishes off Salt Creek's award-winning menu and enjoy a glass of champagne, because after all, you deserve it. Make Sunday brunch at Salt Creek Grill a new tradition with your family and friends. Salt Creek Grill in Valencia on Town Center Drive in front of the movie theater. For reservations, 222-9999 or go online to saltcreekgrill.com.
Do you know a single parent struggling either financially or emotionally in the Santa Clarita Valley? Single Mothers Outreach is an organization that focuses exclusively on the needs of vulnerable single parents. Single Mothers Outreach provides assistance with housing, financial organization, life and career skills, in addition to emotional health and support. Single Mothers Outreach also provides single parents with a community of people who understand exactly what a single parent goes through and the struggles he or she faces on a day-to-day basis. Visit singlemothersoutreach.org.
Did you know that SCVI has the only international baccalaureate program in our community? That means that students at Santa Clarita Valley International Public Charter School can participate in very rigorous classes run by highly trained and skilled international teachers. They work with kids to become active, compassionate, and lifelong learners. Students with IB diplomas at select colleges can graduate with a full year credit at their university. Schedule a tour today online at scvi-k12.org or by calling 705-4820.
City of Hope is a leader in cancer research and treatment. And there's a City of Hope location right here in Santa Clarita, eliminating a major barrier in the fight against cancer: distance to quality care. Santa Clarita has the advantages of City of Hope's renowned clinical expertise, compassionate care, and access to clinical trials. Find out more at cityofhope.org/Santa Clarita or call 661-799-1999.
The big one is back. Circus Vargas, Circus Vargas, Circus Vargas. The biggest big top is back in town.
Circus Vargas presents their new mega hit production, Steam Cirque, onto the Big Top at the Antelope Valley Mall, October 19th to the 23rd. Then at Valencia Town Center, October 26th through the 30th. Always the finest in live entertainment and fun for the entire family. See death-defying acrobats, daredevils, comedians, and much, much more. Arrive early for some interactive pre-show fun where your kids can be the circus stars. Discount coupons available at Camacho Auto Sales. Don't wait. Get your tickets now by calling 877-GOT-FUN-1 or go online at circusvargas.com. It's the ultimate entertainment extravaganza. Don't miss Steam Cirque at Circus Vargas for memories that last a lifetime.
The big one is back. Circus Vargas, Circus Vargas, Circus Vargas. KHTS.
Thanks for listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
Hey, welcome back to the show, Total Financial Solutions Safer Money Hour. Arif Halaby, that's Jeff Girard, your hometown station, KHTS. Look, if you'd like to get a hold of us, you have a question, you want us to take a look at your account, see if you're going upside down with between fees and risk, if it's not appropriate for you, or maybe you're one of the fortunate ones where your account has been going up lately. That's nice, isn't it? Nice to see everything go up. Pensions are going up if they're properly invested. Your 401k, your retirement accounts, your IRA. Maybe it's time to take some of that gravy off the top. Put some of those winnings, put them back in your pocket, right? Cash out a little bit, maybe half, maybe a third, whatever number works for you. That's what we're here for. Our job is safer money choices. We're experts in that field. Our job is to keep you from losing your principal, losing your interest, getting reasonable rates of return. Right now we're averaging higher than the 3 to 6 that we say, depending on what month and what year and all of that. But over time, we expect 3 to 6% rate of return. We call it reasonable. Could be a little higher, could be a little lower. We know that it's going to be between 0 and about 10 or 12 every year. 0 to 12, average is right in there. For some of your money, that's what we're here for, if we can help you. No cost to meet with us. If we can help you, it's our pleasure. All right. We're going to continue here. Finishing up with this hour of the program, are you expecting a pension? If you are, you just want to make sure that you're planning, I always say, for 75% of it. Not because they will cut it necessarily, depending on where you are. If you're ready to retire sooner than later, they're just not going to give you cost of living increases for very long. They will start charging you more for health insurance and for other things. So yeah, they'll give it to you with the right hand and they'll pull it right back out with the left hand. We saw this a lot with Social Security, Jeff, when we were seeing Medicare, right? What Social Security took it in one set, it went up.
Right, they give you a cost of living adjustment or an increase. But then they started charging more for the Medicare premiums. They took it right out, which most people have that deducted right from their Social Security. So they said, hey, here's a $3 raise, and we took $3 for the
It was incredible.
premium. Yeah.
It was like $120 and $120 in the front or out the back. Almost the exact same number.
Before you were done clapping for the increase, they took the deduction out.
And because they cannot take the money from Social Security, the federal government cannot take the money from Social Security and put it into Medicare, right? There's rules and laws and policies. But what they can do is they can give it to you and take it from you. So it was a backdoor way to get dollars from Social Security into the Medicare plan. Thank you, Obamacare. Because what Obamacare did is they took all of the money that was earmarked for other plans and they dumped it into Medicare. But then they added everybody as part of the Medicare system. So what you have is a push and pull. You have people saying we think Medicare for everybody, called universal health care, and we have some that say no, keep Medicare for those that are seniors and the way it was originally planned, etc. So there's, who knows who's going to win? It's you, the American people. Are you still down the road of wanting a larger government, bigger nanny state, taking care of you from cradle to grave? Or are you considering some of these options to be freedom? Freedom versus control. Whereas some people want I'm willing to give up this, and this so that I don't ever have to worry about it. Look at other places. Canada, Great Britain, they have Social Security systems. They have universal health care. But they also have private pensions, private hospitals. We have universal health care. It's called LA County All of You. Right. I don't know what everybody was we don't have health, and if you're not insured, well, primary doctor, that's it. Okay, so you're not going to ever go and get sniffles and antibiotics. You have to go to the emergency room. No problem, fix that. It takes a week. All of us sit around, we say, hey, listen, you go to the existing places, whether it's Walgreens, Walmart, Rite Aid, you go to the existing CVS locations and you say, listen, we're going to give you a subsidy. You can build a little minute clinic because they're already on every corner. You don't have to buy real estate. And we'll reimburse you to see people in urgent care setting. And if I want to pay extra for a higher level of urgent care, I'll go to Providence. And if somebody doesn't have health insurance, they're going down the Medi-Cal, you just go to the CVS. You go to the Walmarts. They have the prescription drugs. They're going to make money there too. Don't get me wrong. They're not doing this for free. But you see how simple it was to fix? Oh, we have pre-existing conditions. We covered it right here on the show. If you have a small business, 2 lives, husband, wife, parent, child, brother, sister, 2 lives, you had a group plan. Group plans required automatic coverage. You could be in the middle of cancer treatment. You could have been diagnosed with HIV. Your company, you get a job at Starbucks or Walmart or my company or any place that had health insurance as part of the package. You walked right in. Okay, you have to wait whatever the plan is, 30 days, 60 days, right away, right? They can change the plans. And now, guaranteed without pre-existing condition issues. Why am I sharing basically the old? Because I think your pensions are all going to be tied to these decisions. Because when they make mistakes, when the government makes mistakes, whether it's in healthcare, whether it's in the military, whether it's in education and student loans, they are going to get the money from somewhere, and that's you. And your pension will suffer if you're not careful. Higher taxes, lower benefits. You got a question? Give us a call at 800-990-7344. I'm Arif Halaby, Jeff Girard. This is Total Financial Solutions Safer Money Hour. Arif Halaby on KHTS, your hometown station.
KHTS, Canyon Country, Santa Clarita.
It's 1 o'clock, time for